The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. Workers of the world, unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. Religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. Capital is dead labor, which, vampire-like, lives only by sucking living labor, and livest more, the more labor it sucks. The philosophers have interpreted the world in various ways. The point is to change it. The ruling ideas of each age have ever been the ideas of its ruling class. The production of too many useful things results into many useless people. The oppressed are allowed once every few years to decide which particular representatives of the oppressing class are to represent and repress them. The theory of communism may be summed up in one sentence: abolish all private property, from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. The bourgeoisie has stripped of its halo every occupation hitherto honored and looked up to with reverent awe. It has converted the physician, the lawyer, the priest, the poet, the man of science, into its paid wage laborers. Men make their own history, but they do not make it as they please. They do not make it under self-selected circumstances, but under circumstances existing already, given and transmitted from the past. Capital is reckless of the health or length of life of the laborer, unless under compulsion from society. The human being is in the most literal sense a political animal, not merely a gregarious animal, but an animal which can individuate itself only in the midst of society. The education of all children, from the moment that they can get along without a mother's care, shall be in state institutions at state expense. Social progress can be measured exactly by the social position of the fair sex, the ugly ones included. In every stock jobbing swindle, every railway and every corporation, Frenchmen will find the same names, the same phrases, the same interests, the same frauds, and the same transactions. Revolution is necessary not only because the ruling class cannot be overthrown in any other way, but also because the class overthrowing it can only in a revolution succeed in ridding itself of all the muck of ages, and become fitted to found society anew. The capitalist system is about the transformation of cash into commodities and commodities back into cash. Accumulation of wealth at one pole is at the same time accumulation of misery, agony of toil, slavery, ignorance, brutality, mental degradation at the opposite pole. Capital is money. Capital is commodities. By virtue of it being value, it has acquired the occult ability to add value to itself. Surround yourself with people who make you happy, people who make you laugh, who help you when you're in need, people who genuinely care. They are the ones worth keeping in your life. Everyone else is just passing through. Reason has always existed, but not always in a reasonable form. Democracy is the road to socialism. The theory of communism may be summed up in one sentence: abolish private property. The ruling class and the oppressed class represent the antithesis, which arises from the division of labor. This is not only observed in the relation of capital to labor, but also in the social, political, and ideological spheres. The bourgeoisie is unfit any longer to be the ruling class in society and to impose its conditions of existence upon society as an overriding law. The workers have nothing to lose but their chains. When our turn comes, we shall not make excuses for the terror. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. The country that is more developed industrially only shows to the less developed the image of its own future. It is not the consciousness of men that determines their existence, but their social existence that determines their consciousness. Men's ideas are the most direct emanations of their material state. The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. The philosophers have only interpreted the world in various ways. The point is to change it. The human essence is the true collectivity of men. The ruling ideas are nothing more than the ideal expression of the dominant material relationships. Surround yourself with people who make you happy, people who make you laugh, who help you when you're in need, people who genuinely care. They are the ones worth keeping in your life. Everyone else is just passing through. The bourgeoisie is unfit any longer to be the ruling class in society and to impose its conditions of existence upon society as an overriding law. Reason has always existed, but not always in a reasonable form. The oppressed are allowed once every few years to decide which particular representatives of the oppressing class are to represent and repress them. In every revolution, it is necessary to overthrow the enemy and depose him, and after a victory, it is necessary to dispossess the enemy. The theory of the communists may be summed up in the single sentence: abolition of private property. The education of all children, from the moment that they can get along without a mother's care, shall be in state institutions at state expense. For the bureaucrat, the world is a mere object to be manipulated by him. Landlords, like all other men, love to reap where they never sowed. Necessity is blind until it becomes conscious. Freedom is the consciousness of necessity,